Hello guys and welcome back. Here we are with yet again a new league. This time it's I was invited into the GPC. If you remember from around a month ago, I joined the GPC WC World Championship tournament. I was invited to that, and now after the tournament I was invited into the main league, and I'm really excited about it. I'm now joining for season 5, and we have 24 people, all really great battlers, and they are split in two different divisions, an A division and a B division, each consisting of 12 people. Draft and the schedule is also just within your division. Playoffs are between the divisions then, and yeah, I'm in division B, and today I'm going to be going over my draft analysis about the team I drafted, and before I will be going over the draft and the mons I drafted and explain a bit how the draft worked. I have to say this might seem a bit rushed. This is because this is like my only day in between two holidays I have, and this Saturday I can say the matches will already go up. I will be having my week 1 match shortly, and also will be recording it directly after it. And I wanted this analysis up before that, so that's why I kind of have to record it now. Also, I did record it already, but the file got corrupted. Some issues with the recording program, which was really unfortunate. Also, because I'm in between two holidays, and yeah, I just didn't have enough time to make like a layout for my draft analysis, which is really unfortunate because I really like to work with a layout in my draft analysis. But now I just had to work with what I had, and I decided just to go with Showdown, and I won't be doing it like everyone else, just going over the moves and such. No, I will just be talking about the individual mons like I would have done if I had a proper layout, and I will just talk about the rest, and I've showed them on the background, so sorry about that. I just pressured for time. So on to the draft. The draft happened a while ago now, and we drafted with a point-based system. We each had 100 points, and all mons had an individual point value varying from 1 to 20, and we could draft 8 to 12 mons. So this is really different from like the GPA style, which I am quite accustomed to, because I've used that for most of my leagues, and I haven't used a point-based system. So I decided, I thought when the draft would happen, I would be like available to draft, and maybe like the few later rounds, like the last few rounds, I might have been on a holiday, I thought, but actually I wasn't, so that was nice. But for the earlier stages, it was like I was also away from home, and I had to draft on the fly, and because it was a whole new system, I decided not to really make a draft plan, because I didn't really know how that would work. Also, I didn't really know how to draft in this format. The only thing I really decided on was I was looking at which mega had a nice price tag to it, and which mega I kind of want to try out, and what kind of mons you need for that specific mega. So that's the only thing I knew before the draft happened. Luckily, when the draft happened, we had like a grace week. This was when I was on holiday, but we could make any number of changes on the team we want. This was more or less done to just make 1 or 2 changes to, if you thought, I just like this or this, that you can make some small changes. But some of the guys in the Division B started it. They really changed up the team quite a lot, and I was really looking over my team, and I was really talking with some of my friends, and yeah, it was like I just, my first team lacked a bit, the speed tests were just not quite there. There was not much speed, and also I just didn't have that much offense. So that's why I decided to change the team up quite a bit. All the mons I will be going over, they will be in the order I would have drafted them if the draft actually happened like this. Besides one mon, I will be going over that mon shortly, and I'll also say what my initial pick was. if you really are curious to what my initial draft was, you can just hit me up and I will tell you, but I think it's not really interesting for you guys. So let's just start, enough of me rambling. So first pick, I had a 9th pick overall, and I was looking at some of the higher mons up there, and there I saw this one mon that I really liked and I wanted to try out for quite a while, and that was Weavile. And Weavile has shined in many leagues before. I think in this season in the MPL, Dylan is using it really well. And yeah, it's just an outstanding mon because of its really offensive powers, with its really high attack stat and really high speed stat. It's really a great mon. Its Dark Ice is a really great offensive type. The Dark type, it also has access to Knockoff and Pursuit, which are two really great moves to have on it. Knockoff, one of the best moves in the game, and to have a great Pursuit Trapper in the Draft League format I think is also really important. And Ice Stab is really good offensively. It also has great priority in Ice Shard. Stab priority hits really hard, and Weavile can just act as like it can be a wall break if you run like Choice Banishment. Most of the time it is like either a life open or a sword stance set, and it can just clean up late game or revenge kill a lot of mons. So that's really why I liked Weavile. And Weavile costed me 16 points and I have now 84 points left. After this, I still thought, okay, I would go with like a mon that's a bit higher priced. Ultimately, I decided to draft Clefable. Clefable, I've used it before. Then I have used Clefable before. It's quite a while back now. I think it was in my the first league I joined, and I really liked using Clefable, and it's one of the staple mons in OU at the moment, and just it's a great mon in general, I think. And in league format it has seen some great use, some lesser use. Overall, if you look at the stats of Clefable, it's just not that great, but it has the fairy typing, which makes it one of the best types there is, and it has two amazing abilities in Magic Guard, which means it's immune to things like Toxic, Rocks and such, and also you could run Unaware if you want to prevent some setup mons. That's also really nice. And then it also has a really deep move pool, which helps it quite a lot. It has reliable recovery, it has access to wish, it has access to heal bells, so quite nice support options. If you want it to be a stealth rocker, it can be your stealth rocker. It has Thunder Wave, one of the best moves in the game for the speed control, and also it can it has Calm Mind access, so it can just set up if you want it to be. And overall, I think Clefable is a really nice staple for this team and the beginning of a defensive core. So Clefable cost me 17 points and I have now 67 points left. So on to my third pick, which will be a really weird pick because due to the changes to my team, this is kind of my third pick, but not really, and that's Alomomola. And originally I had Vaporeon here, but Vaporeon in the end I thought, okay, Vaporeon is really nice mon to have, but it just costed me too much and I just wanted more offense, so I had to squeeze in some points somewhere, so I decided to drop Vaporeon, pick up Alomomola, and Alomomola was only 5 points. And Alomomola gives me a nice bulky water type. It has a really great HP stat, which really helps it a lot. Its defense stat is still respectable, def not so much, but due to the high HP stat, it still can take quite some nice special hits. Its ability is really nice. It has Regenerator. It means every time it switches out, it comes back in, it gains 30% of its HP. And overall it also has Wish support, which is really nice coming off such a high base HP stat of this mon. And the only main problem people are seeing with Alomomola, and I agree with them, is that with its attack stat is okay, is 75, but special attack is only 40, and with the coverage it has, it can easily be set up for quite a lot of mons, especially if they run like a substitute to prevent like Toxic. And so I just have to look out with the usage of Alomomola, and that it doesn't become setup fodder. And that's the main thing I have with Alomomola, I think. And besides that, I think Alomomola can nicely support this team and be quite a nice wall call together with the Clefable. So onto my fourth pick, and I was really thinking, okay, I'm liking my draft so far, but there are two things I really want. That's some hazard control, and that's a solid ground type. So I ultimately decided Donphan. I had now 62 points after the Alomola, and Donphan costed 9 points. I think that's really worth it. Now I had 53 points left, but yeah, Donphan just provides me with a solid ground type. It has the sturdy ability, which means it can be taken down in one hit. It is a really reliable stealth rocker. It can be your hazard move or a rapid spin, and just it has nice coverage options. And if you look at its stats, it has a nice HP stat, a really great attack and defense stat, meaning it can be a really nice defensive mon, but also it can really act as an offensive mon to just wall break or just do damage to quite a lot of mons, maybe if they don't expect it. Its def is a bit less, but you can run like AV, you can work around it if you want to be. But I think overall Donphan is really a nice mon. I've used this also once before in the league, and I really love Donphan, and I hope to see it used really greatly this season also. So my fifth pick, I was really thinking, okay, I need to generate some more offense, like especially on the special side. Like Clefable can be offensive, but it's more or less more defensive mon. Also fire type would be nice. Fire is really great offensively, and also and this mon I just had this nice dual type of Ghost Fire, and that was Chandelure. And Ghost and Fire are really nice offensive pair, and because Ghost hits like almost everything already, and Fire type together, they are really great offensively, I think. And Chandelure has some bulk to it, so it can maybe spin block, not that reliably, but it's overall it's more or less a great wall breaker with a great special attack stat, a nice speed there of 80, a nice ability in Flash Fire, and it has quite some good coverage. It can run Specs, it can run Scarf, it can be a Subcon Mindset, and overall I think I can do quite some work with Chandelure, and I really like to try out this mon. It's one of the favorite mons on the team, I think, that I want to try out. So this also costed me 9 points, so I have now 44 points left. And the next mon, I was really looking into a solid dragon type that I thought I still lacked something with like a bit of speed, but I also like my bulk. So ultimately I went for 10 points, I went with Kyurem, regular Kyurem. I think regular Kyurem is inferior to its Kyurem Black, of course, but it has a nice speed there of 95, which really benefits my team, I think. And overall it has really solid stats. It has a nice bulk, but also great offensive in 130 attack, 130 special attack. Most of the time it's a special wall breaker, but can definitely be more of a bulky set with those stats, and it also has access to roost, so it has reliable recovery, and can also be a physical set. Don't be surprised if I bring this physically once. Dragon and Ice, really nice offensive typing again, and with the dragon type it also has some nice resists to it. So overall a really solid type and a really nice mon for the team, I believe. So I have 34 points left, and I have now 6 mons. I could go up to 12 and a minimum of 8, and what I saw from most of the other people was that they spent quite heavily at the beginning. So what they did was they more or less didn't have many points left, so I knew I could kind of afford to go with this pick a bit later on, so that's why I drafted it as 7th pick, and that's Thunderstarian. And Thunderstarian is again a really nice specially offensive mon, so I have now 3 really great special wall breaks, whereas 2 in Thunders and Kyurem also could go physically offensive, and Thunderous is also a nice special wall breaker. It has a really nice speed there for my team at 101. It has a nice ability in Volt Absorb, which again is an immunity to Volt Switch. It's also a flying type, which is really nice because that means it's immune to Earthquake, which my team was kind of weak to at the moment. And just to have a solid offensive Electro type is really nice in the format. And Thunderstarian is commonly known for its dual dance set. It can be Scarfed, it can be Specs, It's just a really nice mon in the format, I believe, and I have seen this mon used to a great extent in other leagues. I think the main guy that has used Thunderstaring to a great extent and is praised for it is Shadi. I think every one of you guys know Shadi. He's one of the guys from the PPL and also joined this season for the GPC, which is really nice. I don't face him. He's in the other division, but yeah, he's just a really great battler, and he is like he has become I think the Thunderstarian trend, because I think he was like one of the first that used it, and after it got more and more popular, and I think in league format I've seen it more shine than its incarnate form, and we will see how I do with it. I'm really liking to try out this mon already. So on to I only had 20 points left now, and I just had to draft 8 mons minimum. So what I did, I was looking at what kind of roles I still lacked. I kind of like the fighting type, but most fighting types were quite expensive. But then I remembered from another draft, I think it was a PPL draft or another league, and it was from Under the Radar, and he drafted Machoke for 1 point, and I was thinking, ooh, is it also 1 point in this league? And yeah, it was. I thought, and then I thought to myself, okay, people are really going with this lower priced picks now, so I thought, yeah, my other picks won't be sniped that much, because you will see later on what my mega will turn out to be. But at this point in time, there was one other guy that still needed the mega, and I talked a bit with him, and he was kind of at the beginning a bit leaning towards my mega, but ultimately with just how he spent his points, it was just a bit too expensive for him, and he decided not to go with it. So I knew I could wait with my mega till my very last pick. So the mon I picked this round up as my 8th pick was Machoke. So Machoke is a nice fighting type. I won't be going over too much. Machoke has really nice coverage options, has some nice priority to it. It's 2 great abilities in No Guard and Guts. Guts making it a nice status absorber. With Evilite, becomes quite bulky. Dex out of 100 still hits kinda hard. All I have to say about Machoke. My next pick, I really liked a Defogger for my team, because I had quite some stealth rock weakness in Weavile, Curon, Chandelier and Thunderous. There won't be many matches that they all will be brought, but besides Rapid Spin, I thought a great Defogger will be nice for the team. And I was really looking, and the sheet wasn't updated. I noticed this after, but I was really leaning towards Skunk Tank. Also gave me a poison type, but unfortunately that was already picked, not updated on the sheet. But no problem, I just changed it up a bit, and ultimately I went with Flygon. Also, again, won't be saying that much about Flygon. People are really calling it garbage and such. Quite agree with them. It's not the best mon there is. Also not the best dragon type, but that's why I have Curum. But it's just its main role in my team is Levitate, so it's again an earthquake immunity, nice for my team. But mainly it's just a nice Defogger to have. I can run Flygon more of a scarfed set to guarantee defog, to guarantee outspeed some things. I can be like a live up attacker, I can be more of a bulky Flygon. I can do some things definitely with Flygon, but above all else it's a nice hazard remover for my team. And it still has a respectable attack and speed stat of 100. So my next pick, and I knew quite early in the draft that I wanted to go with this mon, and I also kind of knew nobody will pick it, and that was because most of the teams already went with a solid grass type quite early, and that's why I decided, okay, what grass types are left. And I've seen this mon used once before by Dylan, and he's also a friend of mine, and he also recommended it when I already considered it, and he said if you are lacking the points, because Machoke was 1 point, Flygon 4 points, I had 15 points left, and ultimately I knew this mon would be the mon to go for as the grass type, and that's Tangela. And Tangela was only 2 points, it's like the baby version of Tangrowth. If you look at its stats, it still has a respectable and great defense and special attack stat. and the other stats just a bit less, but with Eviolite it's quite bulky. With the regenerator ability, it can recover its HP quite nicely, forming a bit of a regen core with Alamola. It doesn't get as much coverage as Tangrowth, I believe, but still it can be a lead sheet, synthesis, sleep powder, etc. So still really a nice mon for the team, I believe. And yeah, only 2 points, so I had 30 points left. Had Tangela, really nice grass type. I really needed it because I kind of lacked an EQ resist. I had some immunities, but this gave me a nice ground resist. So my next mon, due to all the changes I made to the team, firstly I just had 1 point for this because I thought 11 was the max, and I thought I spent all my points, but then I noted that I had 1 point left because mon was a bit lower than I expected, and I picked up a mon for 1 point. But now with all the changes, instead of 1, I kind of had 3 points, and with those 3 points I was really looking into those mons, and I saw I kind of needed Psychic type. A bit more hazard control could be nice, so I decided to go with Xatu. So Xatu has a really great ability, Magic Bounce, which means it kind of can bounce back hazard, can bounce back status, and also has a nice special attack and speed stat of 95. It also, if you just want to be so sure, you can even run default on Xatu if you want. It has some really nice utility moves. I won't be going into them that much, but I think it can be a really nice utility mon. In the GBA, Tom has used this to quite a nice extent, in my opinion. So that's why I really like Xatu for this team. Again, an Earthquake immunity, and if I don't like it, I might drop it in some of the weeks we have for trading and free agency. But maybe it can perform like I wanted to. It's like more of a utility mon, a nice Psychic type and a Magic Bounce user. So we will just have to see. So if you have noted, I have now drafted 11 mons already, and yes, I'm going for the full 12, and I have 10 points left. And with these 10 points I will be drafting my Mega. And if you noticed on this draft, yeah, I kind of lacked one crucial typing for my team, and that was Steel type. And indeed my Mega is going to be Mega Aggron. So yeah, Mega Aggron, I think it really rounds out my team defensively. With the wish support I have, I think I can really it can really help Mega Aggron to stay healthy, to take hits better. And if you look at its stats, it has an amazing defense stat of 230. It can take almost all hits on the physical side. With its HP and speed def, can still take some hits on the special side, especially if you invest EVs in there, because you generally don't have to invest too much into defense. And also it has the filter ability, which means super effective moves deal less damage. Overall a really nice mon defensively, but if you look at it offensively, it gets quite some coverage options. And together with those coverage options, it has an attack stat of 140, which is nothing to sneeze at. So offensively it can also really be a big threat. So it's a really nice staple defensively, and it can also in certain weeks be a great offensive mon. So that's why I really like Mega Aggron as my last pick. Gives more versatility to the mon, gives that solid steel type, and just a solid mon in general. So you can see here my whole team. Just let me know in the comment section down below what you are thinking about the team. I'm definitely really excited to try out this team. There are quite a lot of mons that I've seen used in League format to quite some great extent, but are definitely mons I really wanted to try out for myself and see how I will do with them. So I think that's about it for this video. My week 1 match, if everything goes right, will be going up Saturday. So yeah, I will see you until then, and bye guys.